And his whole life? Or did he just kind of quit? Who quits talking? Ms. Levitt says again that she doesn't have any answers. She also says that when we were entering her class at the beginning of the school year, she didn't have much information about us either, and she preferred it that way. To meet us herself and see what we wanted to share. Then she looks right over the tops of her glasses one more time, and into all our eyes, and says, "We will welcome Reuben into our community when he arrives tomorrow." I nod when her eyes meet mine. "Moving on then," she says, and hands us the directions for our next English project. They're printed on skinny slips of paper, and there are only 2 points listed for the whole assignment. Create something that tells a story. Due Wednesday, April 18th. Everyone shoots their hand in the air, including me. I want to know if we can make a comic, and if we can, I want to know if we can work with partners, because Oliver's way better at drawing than I am, but I'm the storyteller. Everyone's calling out questions like, how long should it be, and what kind of story? Does it have to be true? I can tell Ms. Levitt is listening, but instead of answering anything, she says, "Why don't you read over the directions with a partner and chat about your ideas?" As if that's going to help us at all. I turn to Oliver. "What do you think?" "I don't know," he says, and leans in a little closer to me. "But I got a message from my Uncle Toby last night, and he says I can invite a friend on our backpacking trip this summer." "Oh," I whisper, and tap my pencil eraser on the table. "So, who are you going to invite?" I ask. Because even though Oliver and I have been best friends since pre-K, I'm not sporty like he is. I'm the kind of kid who gets book tans across my lower arms from sitting out in the sun and reading all summer. Which is pretty far from the kind of kid who backpacks for 4 days, 3 nights, and 35 miles on the Appalachian Trail with his Vermont forest ranger uncle. Oliver laughs and says, "Oh, come on, please." I sit up a little straighter in my seat and say, "You want me to go?" "You are my best friend," he says. I want to say yes, because he's my best friend too. But I also don't want our friendship to melt on the side of the trail in a puddle of my own sweat and tears. Then Chaz walks by on the way to the pencil sharpener and taps Oliver on the shoulder. 3-on-3 at recess?" he whispers. Oliver nods and says, "Yeah, meet you on the court." And then I start imagining Oliver inviting Chaz into the woods with him and Uncle Toby, and them coming back and talking about all the adventures they had on the trail, and it makes me think maybe I could keep up with Oliver on this one. I might never be able to steal a basketball from him on the playground court at recess, but who can't walk in the woods with a backpack on? "I'll ask my mom," I say. Oliver smiles and throws his arm around my shoulders. Even though we both know that this does not make it a sure thing, because my mom's 100 times more protective than his mom. She didn't even let me start riding my bike to school by myself until the beginning of this year, 6th grade. And if I don't text her as soon as I get here, she calls the school, and Ms. Phillips announces over the loudspeaker that I need to come to the office to call my mother. If I had some brothers or sisters, maybe Mom could spread all that worry out. Oliver has 3 older sisters, and his mom started letting him ride his bike to school in 2nd grade. But all my mom's worry goes straight to me. The bell rings, and Ms. Levitt says we'll start making plans for our projects tomorrow. I still have 100 questions, but I pack up my book bag and head out the door. Later, in math class, Oliver finishes the Dogman book beneath our table and hands it back to me. "So good," he whispers. "New one is out today," I whisper back. And right when the spine of the book hits my hand beneath our table, I get the best idea ever for Miss Levitt's project. We could create a comic with a new character, one that's part Oliver and part me, like some kind of sporty, bookish crime-fighting hero. And it's all Oliver and I can talk about through math class and lunch. But then, when we're getting ready for recess, I hear everyone chattering about the new kid again. The kid who doesn't speak.